All right, thank you. And it's our Chevy call to the pen. And here is Carlos Martinez making his home debut here in St. Louis, and so far so good. It's been fun to watch him.
Yeah, one of the problems of the Cardinals starters being so good is you haven't had a chance to look at Martinez enough, but he is just so much fun to watch pitch. We saw him pitch on that last road trip, Dan, and he has an electric fastball. He also has a good curveball to go along with it, likes his changeup, really a three-pitch pitcher, which if you're a pitching coach like Derek Lilliquist is on the left side there with Mike Matheny, you know 3 pitches means potential starter long term. But so far getting his feet wet at the big league level out of the Cardinal bullpen.
Carlos Martinez rocks and fires, and boy can he fire it. The pitch at 97. Most believe his future lies in the starting rotation, but Cardinals getting a look at the future here. That's fouled back by Rosario.
Got an interesting note here, Dan, from Brad Straubinger, who works with us at Fox Sports Midwest, that said that the Rockies broadcasters have been communicating in the game that they were wondering whether they would send De La Rosa back out for the 8th inning even if he had a no-hitter. After coming off Tommy John surgery, they were aware of a pitch count that we were not aware of, and they, in some ways, were glad he gave up a hit, because imagine that decision that the manager would have had.
Well, you just call up Terry Collins and say,
that's right.
What do you think? As he dealt with Johan Santana last year. Well, that's a little different for Walt than Regis Jesuit High School, where he was last year.
Competition a little better.
Yep. I think it does, though, bring up the point. Walt Weiss, Mike Matheny, Robin Ventura, how to handle the losses. You know, how to handle the ups and downs of the 6 months of a season.
Well, that was what Mike Matheny said the hardest part of managing his first year in the big leagues last year was. It's not the decisions, how to use the, you know, everybody's going to have their opinions about how to use the bullpen and what players should be playing, and you know, that's part of the game, and every kind of person that knows the game knows that there's a lot of variance to that, but it's dealing physically and emotionally with the losses as the manager, the most difficult thing for Mike.
Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest on this Mother's Day, brought to you by Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer. Pitch at 97 from Carlos Martinez. When I watch him, it's hard not to think of Pedro Martinez.
Right.
You know, same body type, slinging the ball up there. He also has, Rick, the rise in his fastball a little bit, that extra gear.
A little hop to it, yeah.
Remember Roy Oswald? It seemed like the ball was rising a little bit, maybe because of his body type, and he had the long stride with his legs, but Martinez has got a little bit of that too. By the way, Roy Oswald now a member of the Rockies organization.
Interesting pickup for them.
Very interesting. Very interesting that he wants to go there.
Well, you almost kind of thought he might be done. There was a time where the Texas Rangers were interested in him in spring training, and you thought about him maybe finishing his career in Texas, and that would make sense. He wanted to go to a winner. That was what he was saying at the time, and you know, just kind of was slightly under the radar, but then he went way underneath the radar, and no one was really talking about Roy Oswald anymore.
Apparently that fit wasn't the fit that they thought. Some issues in how he was used. He was upset with Ron Washington. They talked about rotation and then the bullpen, and you know, some scouts are saying, look, you're not Andy Pettitte, you're not Roger Clemens, just to say, well, I'm ready to come back and pitch. They do believe that he needs a spring training, but the Rockies willing to take that flyer on him. And that's fouled back.
There was talk at times in the minor league, the short minor league career of Carlos Martinez, that he would fall in love with his changeup so much that he would throw it maybe too much because it was so good. And way out in front of the last three is Arenado. And you know, changeup can be such a fun toy because if you've got the right arm action to it and you're a guy that throws hard, it's just a devastating pitch. It just seems, how can that be? How can throwing the ball slower work better? But it just does. You cannot stay on it, as Arenado can well attest right now.
AT&T U-verse Rewind as we take a look at what's happened here today. Get you caught up. Maybe you're out for that brunch and just settling in at around 3:30. You're on your couch, you're full. Well, this isn't going to help. The Cardinals down by the score of 5-0, and no hitter was just broken up last inning. Garcia, though, when you think about how he threw today, you wouldn't say it was just, well, that was a terrible start.
Right.
He had 2 bad pitches that wound up to be 5 runs.
Exactly.
Think about the competition the Cardinals could have in this starting rotation if healthy, with Wainwright, Martinez, Joe Kelly, Shelby Miller, Waka. List goes on and on. And I know I'm missing some of the names, but those are the ones that are big names of the young players that stand out, and then the veterans.
John Gast may
Lance Lynn. I mean, my goodness.
throw himself into it. That pitch at 98 from Carlos Martinez. So if you're looking at something fun in this game, you're looking at it right now. Carlos Martinez, perhaps the future of the Cardinals, maybe big winner down the road. Who knows? He and Shelby Miller, both Cardinal rotation for years to come. Very possible.
3-2 the count. Skip Schumacher a couple years ago, extended spring, went down, faced Martinez, and he said this guy is the best of the bunch. That was 2 years ago. He said he was awesome. Ooh, just missed. So Rutledge is aboard with a 2-out walk. Charlie Blackmon is homer today. Understand the Rams have their draft picks here at the ball game today. Wide receiver that can hopefully make some plays, Mr. Austin. Two outs, count of 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield straight away. Liner into center field. Here comes Jay. He won't get to it. Playing fairly deep for Charlie Blackmon. And with that, it gives us a chance to take a look at the Nissan drive of the game. Troy Tulowitzki, pitch that was up. He didn't make a mistake with it. Mistake by Garcia, and with that, a 3-run homer, and the Rockies haven't looked back since.
That came in the 3rd inning, and as you said, Dan, not a bad day for Jaime Garcia. Just a couple of pitches that hurt him. Renee Latchman, the first base coach.
Pretty surprised to see him talking over there. Renee Latchman, he doesn't stop. It's a base hit down into the corner. Martinez has an ERA. 1 run is in, another being waved home, and that makes it a 7-run Rockies lead.
We'll look at both runners. Josh Rutledge, a 2-out walk. Charlie Blackmon, a 2-out single to follow. He was the runner at first. Drive into the right field corner. Blackmon showing some good speed as well. And all 7 runs here this afternoon have scored with 2 outs. And that was a conversation that certainly needed an interpreter. Yadier Molina helping in the communication. The English of Carlos Martinez not very good yet. He's working on it. And one thing that we heard in his first interview on that road trip, Dan, that I just thought was a pretty cool moment. Carlos Martinez, through Tony Cruz, telling all of us that when he got called up to be a big leaguer for the first time, he was excited. He thanked God, and he said, I cried. And it's pretty cool to have him just say very directly, if in Spanish, that the emotions were tremendous for him.
Beltran coming on, and his throw will head back into the infield as a 3rd run is scored against Martinez. Now, you are bilingual, so I'm assuming that you were able to pick up on what he was saying.
I got cried, and I got every 2 out of every 3 words.
It's pretty quick.
Pitch location, not bad. The result's not good for the first time of the very young career of Carlos Martinez, but there's going to be better days down the road, to be sure.
Cardinals will make a double switch. We'll tell you about that when we come back.